How's it going, YouTube? It's your boy Noah back again with another NFL video. And today we're doing the NFL Week 5 review video. And I didn't do a review last week, but we're going to get right back into it here. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the action. First game, New England Patriots at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Panthers, or the Patriots, end up winning this game by a final score of 19-14. Which I predicted correctly, but this is actually a pretty close game. Nick Folk for the Buccaneers missing 3 field goals, looking like Roberto Aguayo. So seems like no matter who the Buccaneers have at kicker, they keep missing field goals. So that's not good for them. Even though Jameis Winston threw for 334 yards and a touchdown, I mean, Tom Brady also threw for over 300 yards, touchdown and interception. But I mean, when you keep missing field goals, it doesn't matter how many yards you're gonna get if you can't convert. Doug Martin, this was his first game back from suspension. He had a good game, 74 yards and a touchdown. And on the other side of the ball, Dion Lewis and Mike Gillislee combined for over 100 yards. So yeah, I mean, good game from New England. I mean, Tampa Bay could have easily won this game if Nick Folk didn't miss those field goals, but you know, that's just part of the game. People miss field goals, and unfortunately for the Buccaneers, they missed a lot of them this game. So it's about a good game from Deshaun Jackson with over 100 yards and Cameron Brate getting a touchdown reception. Not enough to beat the Patriots in this game, as the Patriots defense finally showed up for a game, and Tampa Bay special teams ends up costing them in this game as they lose to the Patriots 19-14. Next game, Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals, a game I predicted incorrectly. Go figure. What do I always say, man? The Buffalo Bills. You think they're serious every single year, and then all of a sudden they have a game like this. They absolutely destroyed the Falcons despite how close the score was. And now they're going into Cincinnati against the Bengals, who only won against the Browns coming in this game, and they end up losing to the Bengals. Final score 20-16. Andy Dalton went over 300 yards again, but 2 interceptions to go along with a touchdown pass, so kind of a meh game from Andy Dalton. On the other side of the ball, Tyrod Taylor really couldn't get it going. 166 yards, only 1 touchdown to go along with the interception. He was sacked 6 times, so good job at the Cincinnati defense. I don't know if Geno Atkins had any, but someone got it going. For Cincinnati on the running game, Joe Mixon with 51 yards and a touchdown on 15 carries, so maybe that'll be the emergence of the rookie there. Not much going for Jeremy Hill or Gio Bernard in this game, so we'll see how that goes in the future. LaShawn McCoy was held in check, 19 carries for only 63 yards, so nice job by the Bengals defense holding him in check. And my man, A.J. Green, 7 receptions, 189 yards, and a touchdown for the former Bulldog. Just absolutely incredible game for A.J. Green, and I mean, great job by the Bengals defense. They're able to defend their home turf, and a nice game from A.J. Green is enough to get them back to 2-3 and a victory against the Bills 20-16. Maybe this is where they turn their season around. Next game, an absolute snorefest, as I predicted. The New York Jets at the Cleveland Browns, and the Jets, as I predicted, ended up winning this game 17-14 in an absolute boring game. Josh McCown had a solid game though, not 194 yards, 2 touchdowns and interceptions, so nice game from the veteran. And on the other side, I mean, Cleveland, I don't know what to do, man. I mean, Sean Kaiser had another poor game. Only 87 yards and 17 pass attempts, no touchdowns and interception. They ended up going with Kevin Hogan. I don't know if Kaiser got injured or if he just got benched. I didn't watch the game, but Kevin Hogan came in, and he actually did really well in relief. 16 of 19, 194 yards, 2 touchdowns and interception for 122.4 quarterback rating. So that's really good to see for Cleveland, but I mean, same old Browns. I mean, it looked like they might have some potential after how they started the year, but that's not the case. Hugh Jackson's only won 1 game out of 21 tries. He has a 1-20 record as Browns head coach. I mean, just absolutely pathetic. I mean, they couldn't get much going on offense. Isaiah Crowell, 60 yards on 16 carries. I mean, I guess that's decent. And the Browns defense actually did shut down the Jets rushing offense completely. They only averaged 1.9 yards a carry, so the defense did their job, but they just could not get their offense going. Sean Kaiser really struggled. So yeah, I mean, Cleveland, I'm sorry. It looked like you had some potential, but the Jets end up winning this game 17-14, and they climbed to a very surprising 3-2. I would not expect that, so good job by the New York Jets to be competitive to start off the year. And they get a win against Cleveland here, 17-14. Next game, a game that really wasn't close despite what the score says. Carolina Panthers at the Detroit Lions. Panthers end up winning this game 27-24, but let's be honest, Carolina absolutely dominated this game. They had a 27-10 lead going in the fourth quarter before the Lions scored 14 meaningless points. I mean, they just completely dominated this game. Cam Newton, absolutely fantastic game. You can see he's not worried about his controversial comments as he throws for over 355 yards and 3 touchdowns for a 141.8 quarterback rating. My goodness, what a game, man. And on the other side of the ball, decent game for Matt Stafford, 22 of 35, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. But I didn't watch this game, but I do have to wonder how much of those stats came in garbage time when the Lions were out of this game. But one thing we know is that Matthew Stafford never gives up during a game. But what Detroit did give up on was the running game. They only had 15 carries the whole game for 50 yards and a touchdown. Amir Abdul with his 3.1 average, so not very much going in the running game. On the other side of the ball, Carolina couldn't get it going either. Jonathan Stewart, 18 carries for 21 yards, really? Wow, okay, they had 28 carries for 28 yards total, so only 1 yard average, so it was basically all about the passing this game. No one had any rushing attack going at all. Ed Dixon with a monster game. I think he's actually on my fantasy team. He had 5 catches for 175 yards, so I hope to God I started that guy. Knowing me, I probably benched him, but wow, what a game for Ed Dixon filling in for Greg Olsen, who's out for the year with that injury he suffered a couple weeks ago. And yeah, I mean, Matthew Stafford with 2 costly fumbles. One of them was lost. So, I mean, good job by Carolina. They completely dominated this game in the road in Detroit. Detroit falls to 3-2. Carolina is very surprising, 4-1, leading the NFC South since the Falcons had a bye week last week. So, good job by the Panthers. They beat a difficult opponent on the road, 27-24, in a game that really wasn't even that close. Next game, another boring game. San Francisco 49ers at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts still starting Jacoby Brissett. I have no idea what Andrew Luck's coming back, and 49ers still starting Brian Hoyer, who actually had a really good game in this game. 353 yards and 2 touchdowns for a 101.1 quarterback rate now. They scored 17 points in the fourth quarter, so I bet a lot of that was in garbage time, but still, good game for Brian Hoyer. And on the other side of the ball, I guess a respectable game for Brissett. 314 yards, no touchdowns, a pick. I mean, he kept his team in the game. They scored 26 points and got the win in overtime, so I mean, that's good for them. And they actually had a really good game running the ball. Marlon Mack, the rookie out of, I don't actually know what college he's from, but yeah, he had 9 carries from 91 yards. The rookie out of USF it is. Okay, I just looked it up. 9 carries for 91 yards and a touchdown. Very good game for Marlon Mack. Frank Gore got 14 carries for 48 yards, so I mean, that's good. They had 35 total carries, so 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's got to help your team when you're able to get that many rushing attempts and yards. I mean, help run out the clock, and it's productive as well. Jacoby Brissett had a rushing touchdown this game. Other side of the ball, San Francisco really didn't get going. 66 yards and 22 carries. I mean, decent game from Matt Breida. 10 carries for 49 yards, but Carlos Hyde got completely shut down and nothing else was really going on. And T.Y. Hilton had a dominant game this game. 7 receptions, 177 yards. So, dominance from T.Y. Hilton, who's an absolute tank. And Indianapolis is able to squeak away with a win against the struggling 49ers, 26-23 in overtime. Next game, this is a game I predicted incorrectly, and it's one I'm pretty shocked by, honestly. Tennessee Titans at the Miami Dolphins, and Tennessee can't get it done. They lose 16-10. I don't know. Were the Titans a fluke? Were we wrong about them? I predicted them to win the division, but with how Deshaun Watson is looking for the Texans, I don't know if that's going to hold up, man. I mean, Matt Castle was playing this game because of Mariota's injury. He had 141 yards and a touchdown. So, I mean, pretty good game for your backup quarterback. I don't think you can expect much more. And on the other side of the ball, Tennessee did a great job defensively holding Jay Cutler in check. He only had 92 yards, a touchdown, interception for 52.1 quarterback rate. And that is absolutely terrible defense did a great job in this game, but just couldn't get it going, man. And I mean, they couldn't really stop the running attack either. I mean, yeah, the Dolphins only had a 3.2 average for the game, but they also had 31 attempts. I mean, that's a lot of attempts. J.J. 25 carries, 77 yards, so he might not be getting a lot of offense. But when you're struggling in the passing game, just, hand it off, get 2 to 3 yards, help run out the clock. I mean, it's better than getting nothing, which just looked like what they were getting in the passing game. And I mean, DeMarco Murray had an okay game, I guess. 4.1 average, 58 yards, not bad. But I mean, this is just a very low-scoring defensive game. J.J. had a costly fumble in this game. Matt Castle and DeMarco Murray both fumbled and lost possession for the Titans. So, just a really close defensive game. You can tell Tennessee's struggling without Mariota. And, yeah, they just lose to the Dolphins 16-10 in an absolute boring game. So, good job by the Dolphins holding the Titans in check in this one. Next game, battle of the winless teams, Los Angeles Chargers at the New York Giants. And the Chargers end up winning this game 27-22 on a fourth quarter comeback by Philip Rivers, who threw for 258 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. So, it's an alright game, but he also threw for less than 50% completion percentage, so that's kind of eh. And on the other side, Eli Manning, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception, so a good game from the veteran there. But, I mean, what are you going to say about the Giants? They're done. They finally got their running game going, 152 yards on 25 carries and a touchdown. Nice game from Wayne Gallman, the rookie, and Orleans Darkwa. But on the other side, they couldn't stop Melvin Gordon, 105 yards. And that's just, you're not going to win when you let Melvin Gordon get free like that. And the main story of this game, Odell Beckham and Brandon Marshall and Sterling Shepard all got injured in this game. And at the time I'm recording this, Odell Beckham and Brandon Marshall both out for the year. So as if it couldn't get any worse for the 0-5 New York Giants, the most disappointing team in the league. Now their top 2 receivers are out. Just as they were starting to get something going, Odell had a nice game this week, and Marshall played fine against the Buccaneers. Now they're both out. And I don't know the status of Sterling Shepard, but yeah, I mean, sorry Giants. I guess I jinxed you by picking you to win the NFC East. You guys are done. Can't beat the winless. Why do they keep kicking it out of bounds? Oh my god. But anyway, yeah, you just can't beat the winless Chargers. You probably won't be able to beat anybody, especially when you're at home and now you've lost your top 2 receivers. Good job by Eli Manning trying not to give up on this team and keeping them in games, but they're done, plain and simple. Next game, Arizona Cardinals at the Philadelphia Eagles. This is an interesting game because the Cardinals have a bit of a reputation for kind of owning the Eagles in the past 2 years whenever they played them. I remember Kevin Cobb was on the Cardinals. He kept beating Michael Vick every time they played, man. It was really frustrating since Cobb was a former Eagle, but that wasn't the case this game. Philadelphia ended up winning this game 34-7 behind a fantastic game from Carson Wentz. 304 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception for a 128 rating. Oh my god, freaking Carson Wentz is an absolute tank, man. I don't know what he did in the offseason, but Carson Wentz, as long as it's not performance-enhancing drugs, keep doing it, man, because whatever you were doing, it's clearly working. I mean, he's just doing absolutely incredible. On the other side, Carson Palmer had a good game as well, 291 yards and a touchdown. But they couldn't get the running game going, 14 carries for 31 yards, which is why they traded for Adrian Peterson. As of today, they traded for Peterson, so that should be a good move. We'll see how Peterson does when he actually gets some playing time for the Cardinals. The other side of the running attack, LeGarrette Blount had another nice game for the Eagles, 74 yards and a 5.3 average. So they were able to get the running game going, and their passing game was great as well. Nelson Aguilar, 4 receptions, 93 yards, and a touchdown. You see, this guy can actually be productive and a solid receiver when he's not dropping balls all the time. So good job by him. And speaking of the devil, there he is getting a pass broken up. But yeah, I mean, Arizona, hopefully Adrian Peterson can bring some spark to your offense because it's kind of been hit or miss so far. So we'll see how that works out. But Philadelphia Eagles go to 4-1 on the year. It's weird. The Giants are probably the biggest disappointment of the season, and the Eagles are probably the biggest surprise. So fair play to the Eagles getting a dominant 34-7 win behind a great game from their franchise quarterback, Carson Wentz. Next game, probably the biggest surprise of the week. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jaguars end up winning this game 30-9. I don't know what to make of both of these teams. I mean, the Steelers have just been so hit or miss so far. They've been so inconsistent. I don't know what to think of them. I mean, they blow out. They've lost the teams they shouldn't. They lost the Jaguars here, and I mean, Jaguars might be for real this year. We'll see. They lost to the Bears, and then some of their wins weren't really that impressive. Like the one against the Browns wasn't impressive. And in this game, Ben Roethlisberger threw 5 interceptions. I just don't know what to make, man. What is going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers? And are the Jaguars for real? I mean, they didn't get much from Blake Bortles, only 95 yards of interception, but that's because they had the man with a man on a mission. That's it. Leonard Fournette was a man on a mission this game. 28 carries, 181 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Oh my gosh. What a game for the rookie from LSU. And on the other side, Le'Veon Bell got absolutely shut down with only 47 yards on 15 carries. That is just absolutely incredible. What a game from Leonard Fournette. And I mean, basically Antonio Brown was the only one to show up this game. Roethlisberger threw 5 interceptions, but Antonio Brown still got 10 receptions for 157 yards. So he did his part, but basically no one else did. Their defense couldn't stop Fournette. Ben Roethlisberger kept turning the ball over. They couldn't get the running game going. So yeah, Antonio Brown couldn't do it all himself, and the Jaguars end up getting a very surprising and well-deserved 30-9 victory in Pittsburgh. Next game, Baltimore Ravens at the Oakland Raiders, a game I predicted incorrectly. Both these teams are kind of real in the past few weeks. Oakland was starting E.J. Manuel in this game because Derek Carr's injury. And the Baltimore Ravens had lost 2 straight games to the Pittsburgh Steelers and Jacksonville Jaguars. But they were able to get a win this game in the black hole, 30-17. Joe Flacco with a solid game, 222 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. So very respectable outing from him. On the other side, E.J. Manuel played okay, I guess. I mean, 13-26, so not the best completion percentage, but he had 159 yards and a touchdown. So I wouldn't say it was his fault they lost this game. I mean, they had an okay rushing attack. Marshawn Lynch, 43 yards and 12 carries and a touchdown. So, I mean, it's respectable, but they couldn't really do much to stop the Baltimore rushing attack. As Javorius Allen had 73 yards and a touchdown. Vince Mayo got a touchdown. So they had over 140 yards rushing for a total, as Alex Collins also combined for 55 yards running the ball. So yeah, they couldn't really do much to stop Baltimore, and Baltimore's defense played good, as I expect, because they do have a good defense, although they were struggling the past few weeks. But I thought Oakland could still win this game at home. Clearly I was wrong. It's just both teams are on a cold streak, and I give the edge to the Raiders at home. But the Baltimore Ravens get a nice win behind a great game from Mike Wallace as well. 133 yards and only 3 catches. There's that speed, Mike Wallace. Nice job, buddy. And yeah, Oakland, hopefully you get Derek Carr back, because you're already 2-3, and I think you only lost 4 or 5 games last year. So yeah, let's hope Derek Carr comes back very soon for you guys, because you clearly need it. E.J. Manuel, I mean, he had an okay game, but he's not the future. They need Derek Carr back. They need to get their defense going fast. But the Baltimore Ravens end up winning this game. Final score 30-17. Next game, another game I predicted incorrectly, but this isn't that much of an upset. I wouldn't even say it's an upset. I think this is a very evenly matched game. Seattle Seahawks at the Los Angeles Rams, and the Seahawks end up winning this game 16-10. Jared Goff had his first real bad game of the season, 288 yards, but 2 touchdowns and only 22 completions on 47 attempts. Not good, man. 48.9 quarterback rating. Jared Goff, that's not good at all. The other side of the ball, I mean, Seahawks didn't really get much going either. Russell Wilson, 198 yards, a touchdown, interception, a 76 rating. I mean, it's okay. It's way better than what Jared Goff had, so, I mean, fair play. They couldn't really get their running game going, though. I mean, only 25 carries for 62 yards. Thomas Rawls with 2.5 average. Eddie Lacy with 2.1 average, so they didn't get much going running the ball. And neither did really the Rams. I mean, Todd Gurley only a 3.1 average, not good. Their longest run of the game was by Tavon Austin, so that tells you how bad they were struggling running the ball. Tavon Austin had a 27-yard rush, and Jared Goff had a 22-yard one, so yeah, their rushing stats are really inflated by that. They really couldn't get it going. And yeah, just a very nice defensive game. Seahawks defense showed up, and Rams defense is no joke either, man. They held their own, but after it was tied 10-10 at half, Los Angeles couldn't get anything going in the second half, and 2 field goals in the second half were enough for the Seahawks to win this game. Final score 16-10. Next game, a game I not only predicted correctly, I actually correctly predicted the score exactly as well. Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys. I predicted the Packers would win this game 35-31, and they ended up doing so exactly, behind a great game from Aaron Rodgers, 221 yards and 3 touchdowns, and a game-winning touchdown pass to Davante Adams at the end with like 21 seconds left. That's absolutely incredible from Aaron Rodgers. How many times is he going to break the Dallas Cowboys' hearts, man? First, this one to Adams, the one to Jared Cook last year, and then the freaking Dez dropped a game a couple years ago, man. The Packers just... The Cowboys must hate playing the Packers, man. Even though Dak Prescott had a fantastic game, 3 touchdowns to interception. When you're playing Aaron Rodgers, even that's not enough. He's just so good, man. And as my voice cracks, fantastic. But yeah, Green Bay rushing attack. They started Aaron Jones, and I actually started Aaron Jones on my fantasy team, and it worked out really well for me. 19 carries, 125 yards, and a touchdown. So, Ty Montgomery, who? Maybe Aaron Jones is the future for the Packers in the running game, and if not, he definitely had a great game here. Ezekiel Elliott also had a solid game, though. 116 yards on a whopping 29 carries. Dak Prescott had a rushing attack in this game. A rushing touchdown in this game. So this is a very good game on both sides of the ball. Both offenses got it going really well, but that bad man Aaron Rodgers does just enough to win a tight game against the Dallas Cowboys. Final score 35-31, an absolute thriller of a game. As Dallas falls to 2-3 and Green Bay goes to 4-1 on the season. Next game, Sunday Night Football. Kansas City Chiefs at the Houston Texans. An absolute whale of a game this was, as Kansas City ended up staying undefeated, the only undefeated team left, winning this game 42-34, despite an amazing game from Deshaun Watson. 261 yards and 5 touchdowns, 119.8 rating. Wow, that's just absolutely incredible. But I do think a couple of those came in garbage time, but still, I mean, this guy has just been an absolute stud the past few weeks, man. He's definitely put his name in the Rookie of the Year categories again. And speaking of Rookie of the Year, how about another good game from Kareem Hunt in this game? 29 carries, 107 yards, so another game with over 100 yards rushing. Good game from him. Good game for Alex Smith, 324 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's been absolutely incredible so far. And on the other side of the ball, Lamar Miller had a decent game as well. 15 carries for 74 yards, so this was just a nice, solid game all around. I think a lot of Texans' offense came in garbage time, but still, I mean, it was a very competitive game, it looked like. Travis Kelce, a nice game, 8 catches for 98 yards. A lot of the Houston receiving is actually very spread out. DeAndre Hopkins had the 3rd most yards on the team, but he also had 3 touchdowns. Will Fuller with 2 touchdowns. So yeah, just a great game to watch. I watched a little bit of it, and I'm really sad to see J.J. Watt is out for the year. That's just absolutely depressing, but hopefully Houston can move on from that. I guess we'll see how it goes, but yeah, Kansas City. As the yawns return, fantastic. Kansas City ends up winning this game 42-34 to keep the undefeated season alive. Last game. Hopefully we can finish this one before I start yawning again. But Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears. I watched the entire game because Mitch Trubisky was making his first career start, and it was kind of hit or miss for Mitch Trubisky. I mean, he didn't have a lot of help. There was a lot of drops. There were a lot of penalties as well. He had a fantastic play on the first drive where he rolled to the right and completed a pass about the 10-yard line. That was wiped out on a penalty by Cody Whitehair. So his final stats were 12 of 25, 128 yards, and a touchdown interception. It's terrible looking stats, but it wasn't as bad as it looks because he just didn't have a lot of help in this game. I mean, they had that nice fake punt by Pat O'Donnell for a 38-yard passing touchdown. So, I mean, I guess that's good. But, yeah, Mitch Trubisky needs a lot more help in the future, man. I mean, he was getting sacked. Actually, no, he wasn't. He only got sacked once. What am I talking about? That was Sam Bradford who kept getting sacked. But, I mean, people were dropping passes. I mean, they committed so many penalties, like 6 in the first half at least, man. Every good play Mitch Trubisky made was wiped out, and every bad one he made wasn't wiped out. Plain and simple, man. So, sucks for Mitch Trubisky. On the other side of the ball, Sam Bradford started the first half. He looked absolutely terrible. You could tell the injury was really affecting him. He got sacked 4 times as well, so in order to prevent him getting murdered, they took him out and put in Case Keenum. 140 yards and a touchdown in the second half. A touchdown to Kyle Rudolph, I believe it was, so good game for him. Good game for Jerick McKinnon. Obviously, Dalvin Cook is injured, which absolutely sucks, but Jerick McKinnon had a great game, 96 yards and a touchdown. Other side of the ball, Jordan Howard, 76 yards, so good game for him. But yeah, this was just a very low-scoring game for the most part until the second half, and it started to get going a little bit. But Mitch Trubisky, rookie struggles in this game, plus penalties and costly drops, doomed the Bears to fall to a 4-1 start. Minnesota goes to 3-2 and wins this game. Final score 20-17. So anyway, guys, that's the NFL Week 5 review. I'll be back on Thursday, hopefully, with the Week 6 preview, so that'll be very exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.